Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Huia Adkins. I'm a Technical Director for Circular Economy with GHD, and I'm here today to talk to you about managing waste and creating value through a circular economy. So firstly, I'd like to introduce you briefly to the topic. There is a lot of confusion about what a circular economy is, but essentially a circular economy is about retaining the value of resources within a system. Now that system may be small, it could be an individual asset, an individual mine site, could be all the way up to a whole supply chain, a global supply chain, or a geographical region. And the circular economy is built on a number of key themes. The first is designing out waste and pollution, and doing that quite deliberately, doing it right in design, right in at the front of each of your projects. So why we're doing that is really to understand that we need to reduce our dependence on the use of virgin materials, and we need to use everything as effectively as we can. And if we're seeing waste in a system, fundamentally recognizing that as a design flaw, going back to the drawing board and seeing if we can't do it better. The second principle is really around retaining products and materials in the system for as long as we possibly can. We have a linear system, which is take something out of the ground, make it into something, use it, and then throw it away. When we do that, we're actually losing inherent value in all that we do. So retaining those products and materials in the system allows us to extract as much value from them as we can. We also want to look at creating a net environmental benefit. We know that we need to go beyond minimising the damage that we've already done, and we actually need to work out how to improve things. And last but not least, looking at that socioeconomic value enhancement. We're going beyond, we know we need to live within our planetary boundaries, and we need to provide an environment and an economy where we can support the people that live on this planet. So how can we do that and balance that through environmental impacts and through minimising our environmental impacts and benefits? So what are these key global drivers for change? We are seeing the circular economy as a paradigm explode around the world. We're predominantly seeing that leadership coming from the European Union, but there are some really common global drivers that we're all experiencing. Resource scarcity and competition is one, supply chain instability. And we have certainly seen that happen across Australia as well as the world. A reliance on finite natural resources. So we actually have an economic system which is fundamentally flawed because we're relying on a product that won't be available forever. And we are now seeing a global transition to net zero that's occurring at different rates across the world, but we are seeing that happen at country level, at tier one organisational level, and certainly the mining sector is now strongly focused on how they can decarbonise. So we've also had the experience of COVID and Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. And these two events have really exacerbated those top 4 points there. It's really shown us how much instability there is in our global supply chains and how that has the ability to impact on how businesses run, and in fact whole states run. I'm in Western Australia, and we're still experiencing lack of supply of certain products and materials, through this global supply chain instability. There is also fundamentally changing expectations around the world. People are now expecting better, expecting more. And that is coming from both ends, both the community, but also global finance is showing us that they will no longer invest in climate risky projects. So that is a substantial shift away from what we're used to. We're also seeing an increased demand for recycled products around the world. People are wanting to include recycled materials in all that they're doing. So they're looking for recycled products and materials as a new source of input. We are going to see increased compliance and regulation. Australia's been and often is historically slow to shift in this space. But what we know is that making those systemic changes now will prepare us for the different regulatory focus that we'll see coming in the future. And a circular economy is a unique value proposition, being first to market in this space to actually show people not only you are talking about a commitment to decarbonisation and dematerialisation, but you are starting to shift your business to actually respond to that. So as we know, systemic change is required. We can't just band-aid it anymore, and we're seeing that occur around the world. So what could a circular mine look like if we were to look at it within our own mining sector? And look, these are just a few examples. You know, the circular economy is not a one-size-fits-all approach, but it's a way of looking at how we can generate value and plug up the lost value within our mining systems. So a circular mine will prioritise processes, projects, ideas and solutions that actually design out wasted emissions right at the front end, keep those materials circulating and regenerate the natural systems within which they are operating. So, you know, we're looking at things like energy. Where are we sourcing energy from to drive our projects? Assets. Do we need to own all of our assets, or can we lease them or share them perhaps with, you know, across a region? And we're always looking at that end of life recovery. What are we going to do with these big pieces of kit, or, you know, big machinery or construction components that we're using through the process at the end of their life? We're looking at waste. Why is it coming out the end of pipe? We need to design it out at the top end of that pipe. And if we are having waste come out the end of pipe, can it be an opportunity to reuse as an input within our own operation, or perhaps within the operation of another person or another entity that's close by? Logistics, reverse logistics are really, really critical, because we need to make sure that we can get back those resources that are so vital to our operation. And construction and operation itself, have it be lean and have it be available, have it be designed with disassembly in mind. How can we use those items that are no longer needed at the end of their construction life? And digital tools are likely to be a huge support in terms of innovation and visibility. We can't change or adapt what we can't see and what we can't measure. So the digital drive is really, really going to support that going forward. Just to provide you a few examples, I know that we don't have a lot of time today. This is just a taster really, but some of the work that GHD has been doing in this space with our clients. So we've been helping Anglo American with a material flow analysis to really help them understand the inputs and outputs on their site, which has enabled them to look at circular economy opportunities across their assets. We've developed a regional circular economy business case for used tyres across a whole range of sectors, including the mining sector. And that's been really interesting in terms of identifying where we need to capacity build, where we need processing opportunities, you know, where are the problems and challenges that we need to help our clients solve. Austmine, another one of our clients, they are really engaging with material flow assessments to try and understand how they can move towards a no landfill strategy across one of their particular sites, and they're building that back into their sustainable mine plan, which will govern their operations going forward. So lots of interesting examples there about how clients in the mining sector are starting to step into new ways of thinking and take hold of that new opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today, and we'd love to hear more from you about what are your challenges and how can the circular economy support you in this space. Thanks very much.